Alright, there we go. Now we need to update the game. The World of Warcraft. I'm playing Worlds of Warcrafts. Alright. Phase 1 Bis, Arcane, and Fire Mage. This is actually something that I need to see. Do I have volume for you two?
Welcome back to Krat's Couch, and this is my Wrath of the Lich King Classic Phase 1 Bis gearing guide for both Arcane and Fire. In this guide, I'm going to cover a few things. I'm going to cover the different Bis routes you can go for Arcane, the different Bis routes you can go for Fire. I'll also walk through gearing by slot and cover some different options in each slot. And then I'll also cover my thoughts as far as Arcane versus Fire for when we transition to Ulduar in Phase 2. And with that transition, which gearing route I'm leaning towards for each of the different specs so that I can be prepared to play both Arcane and Fire in Ulduar, switching between them depending on the boss and which spec is most optimal for that boss. Before I continue, if you like the content, please hit the like and subscribe, and also catch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kateria and drop me a follow there. That really helps me out tremendously. And also feel free to join my Discord for content discussion, macros, weak auras, and whatnots. The link is in the description. Also, huge shout outs to Fleep from Wowhead and Mage Discord for sharing his sim work and insights on Phase 1 Bis gearing, as well as many of the members of Mage Discord for all their great work.
A community.
So first I want to give an overview of the different routes you can go as Arcane, and the main difference simply has to do with which off-piece you will go. So for Arcane, you can either go with the Helm off-piece, which is the Hood of Rationality, the Chest off-piece, which is the Sanctum's Flowing Vestments.
Dude, I cannot get this damn key to drop. I killed so many of these things yesterday to try to get the key to drop.
Other than the off-pieces, these routes are all basically the same, with the only difference being that the Gloves off-piece route also uses the Hit Wand, Gemmed Wand of the Nerubians, while the other two routes use the Wand of the Archlich, which drops off Kel'Thuzad. All three routes are viable and are within 30 DPS of one another, which at 8,000 DPS for a 2-minute fight is pretty much negligible.
Wow,
so you can choose whichever gearing route you
DPS?
like or would work out best for you and your loot situation with your guild. Just to note some of the differences in the routes, the gloves, they're BOE. So if you have a lot of gold, they're purchasable. However, if you go the glove or the chest route, then you need to acquire the tier helm from raid before you'll have tier 7 4-piece. As the other pieces of tier 7 are all purchasable through badges, but there is no version of the tier 7 helm that is purchasable through badges. So the advantage of going the helm route is that you can purchase the other tier 7 pieces with badges, while the other two routes require the tier 7 helm as well as their off piece. So the glove and chest routes can take a little longer to get to that tier 7 4-piece bonus. Again, all three are viable, and the pieces are all relatively the same when it comes to being contested, and the difference will come down to your guild and your raid comp. So talk it over with your loot council and figure out the route beforehand. Later on in the video, after covering Fire, I'll cover which routes for each spec that I'm leaning towards and why, and also my recommendations based on Ulduar release and the possibility of us playing both Arcane and Fire in Ulduar. So check that video section out if you're struggling in your decision of which route to select. So first, for the helm, shoulder, chest, glove, and leg slots, those are all going to be a combination of your off-piece and your tier pieces. So for the helm route, it's going to be your helm as your off-piece, and then the other pieces, all their slots are going to be taken up by your tier 7 pieces, and similarly for chest and gloves, it's going to be the same case. Also keep in mind that you can buy the tier 7 shoulders and legs
have
with
100%
tokens.
drop
Those will be the 25-man version of those tier pieces.
Really?
And the chest and the
so
gloves,
I'm gonna have to grind out even more than 6 of the keys.
10-man version of those pieces. For neck, there's really only one piece, and that's you get it from a quest reward, and that quest is started from a drop that drops off of Saffron, and there's the 25-man version as well as the 10-man version. They both have similar statting, it's just that the 25-man version has more of those stats, because although it's a guaranteed drop off Saffron every single time, and with running 10-man and 25-man version each week, you should be able to get this eventually at least one of the versions. For cloak, the best cloak is Pennant Cloak by far, which drops off to Sartharian. However, until you can get that, there is the Emblems of Valor Cloak, Disguise of the Kumiho, which is still pretty good until you can get the Pennant Cloak. So get that until you can get Pennant Cloak, and then that's Bis. For bracers, nothing comes close to Unsullied Cuffs, and those drop off of Sartharian. However, they're also pretty contested. So Punctilious Bindings can act as a temporary upgrade until you can get Unsullied Cuffs. But outside of Punctilious Bindings, nothing's better than Cuffs of Winged Levitation, the pre-raid Bis.
Does AD upgrades
so
actually show you Bis?
And you don't see these as temporary upgrades, then you're just going to have to wait until you can get Unsullied Cuffs, which are a major step up above Cuffs Winged Levitation. For weapons,
Yeah,
Turning Tide is
I can't
leagues
remember
above
if it
everything
actually
else. So
shows
Turning
you
Tide
this or
drops
not.
off Kel'Thuzad 25-man, and if you compare it to the next best one-hander, Life and Death, which drops off Kothic the Harvester, you can see that the Turning Tide just has way more spell power and way more haste. It's just that much better. However, it's also that much more contested. So not many people will end up with Turning Tide by the end of Phase 1. So definitely have your mind open to other options as far as weapons, because it's very unlikely you'll get Turning Tide because only a few people are going to get it. There's Life and Death, which is, like I mentioned here, one-hander off Kothic Harvester, still pretty good. If you need hit from your one-hander, then you can,
what should have been the last key?
You can get the Soul Blade or the Haunting Call. Haunting Call is a zone drop in 25-man, and Soul Blade drops off Kel'Thuzad in 10-man.
I know.
And then there's also the Damnation Staff, which is drops off 4 Horsemen, 25-man, and it's a staff, and you can see in comparison, stats-wise, not the best. However, it also does get the Enchant Staff, greater spell power, which is plus 81 spell power, so it's a little bit better of an enchant, and that helps make up for a little bit of the downside of it being a staff and not having that offhand option. But suffice it to say, you're not probably going to get Turning Tide unless you're, I don't know, the chosen favorite of the Loot Council, or you have a lot of money in a GDKP. So just have your mind open to other options as far as weapons go. And if you end up going one-hander route, then for offhand, Surplus Limb is definitely best in terms of its itemization.
You know what? I actually can't remember what .gg said that my BIS would be. I know it said that it was a two-handed staff for sure. Staff of Draconic Combat is what it said, which is interesting. Cause what did this guy say that it was?
Here, one-hander off Kothic Harvester, still pretty good. If you need hit from your one-hander, then you can, from your weapons, for instance, you can get the Soul Blade or the Haunting Call. Haunting Call is a zone drop in 25-man, and Soul Blade drops off Kel'Thuzad in 10-man. And then there's also the Damnation Staff, which is drops off 4 Horsemen, 25-man.
Phase 1, because
we're
not technically in Phase 1.
See in comparison, stats-wise, not the best. However, it also does get the Enchant Staff, greater spell power, which is plus 81 spell power, so it's a little bit better of an enchant, and that helps make up for a little bit of the downside of it being a staff and not having that offhand option. But suffice to say, you're not probably going to get Turning Tide unless you're, I don't know, the chosen favorite of the Loot Council, or you have a lot of money in a GDKP. So just have your mind open to other options as far as weapons go. And if you end up going one-hander route, then for offhand, Surplus Limb is definitely best in terms of its itemization and the hit. However, if you don't need the hit, say you're getting the hit from somewhere else for some reason, then Matriarch Spawn off of Maexna is a good non-hit option. For belt, Leash of Heedless Magic
that's definitely interesting.
Drops off a 25-man Malygos, and there really isn't that much.
It's just too hard to go to somewhere like 80 upgrades and freaking figure out your own.
Hit. However, the Plush Sash of Guzba, our Emblems of Heroism belt,
like it's just so much easier to look up,
so,
you know,
even if you do need hit, you can just
go
use
for that.
Heroic Badges belt. And you may need hit because, you know, say you don't have Dying Curse, right? Then that's a lot of the hit to make up for. So that's where you'd be using a belt.
Yeah, I need Dying Curse bad.
Cincture Polarity is less contested than Leech of Heedless Magic, so there's
I think that was an Oculus, right?
But
Dying
as far
Curse.
as an endgame BIS set, once you have Dying Curse and other hit items, then you're going to want Leech of Heedless Magic.
I'm looking at Mark of the War Prisoner.
So just keep that in mind. For boots, Arcanic Tramplers are our BIS, and there's really nothing that comes close. They're quite a step above Sandals of Crimson Fury, which are our pre-raid BIS. And there is Boots of Forlorn Wishes, but those are just only a little bit better than Sandals of Crimson Fury, because Arcanic Tramplers are just that good. Now, that's non-hit options for Boots. As far as hit options, if you're going to go the hit route if you needed it, then there's Boots of Impetuous Ideals. Both Boots of Impetuous Ideals and Arcanic Tramplers are BOE.
Arcanic Tramplers.
You know, if you have a lot of gold, you can buy them, but they're probably going to be very expensive.
So let's look at tier 7.
You know, keep that in mind. I don't recommend going the hit route.
Okay, so
boots,
this is the gear that he's talking about.
Try and get it from different places. Mainly because Boots of Impetuous Ideals, again, they're going to be very expensive.
So I'm
and
mainly just focusing on pre-raid
but if I have these hit
anyways.
boots, then I could use them for fire later on. While that's true, Zintor's Expeditionary boots perform just as well for fire, and you get them from Emblems of Valor. So those are basically going to be free. You'll be able to afford them. you know, at least a few
Going on
weeks
with
into
that,
phase
man?
1. Certainly before phase 2 comes out, you'll be able to buy these for fire if you need hit boots for fire. So boots of impetuous ideals are kind of, I don't really recommend them. I just recommend, you know, boots of forlorn wishes if no one needs them. If they're rotting, you can pick those up for a slight upgrade from Sandals of Crimson Fury, and then just go for Arcanic
Let's
Tramplers
see.
for Arcane if you're going to be Arcane for a while, or, you know, just stay at Sandals of Crimson Fury until phase 2 comes, and if you're going to be going fire, then you can just pick up
Maybe I
Zintor's
need to.
Expeditionary
Well,
boots,
I'm
but
using the
Arcanic
Invink
Tramplers are
hardware
definitely best
encoder.
for Arcane. For rings, we have the advantage that Band of Channeled Magic is a Valor token ring, and it's
It's
best
gotta
for
be
us,
my
but
internet.
there's also the disadvantage that Signet of Manifested Pain is
Maybe
really,
my
really
bit
good as a
rate
ring,
is
but it's also going
tanking.
to be incredibly contested. Pretty much everyone wants this. It drops off 25-man Kel'Thuzad, and while it's an insane ring, it's going to be super contested. So until you can get Signet of Manifested Pain, if you ever do, then you're basically going to be using your pre-raid BIS options, which are the Band of Guile or the Anhildes ring. Again, I don't recommend it, the Signet of the Kirin Tor, as I said in my previous video, because it's just 8,000 gold for something that is only a few DPS higher than Band of Guile and Anhildes ring. It's just not
It's
worth it.
interesting.
So,
Yeah.
you know, get Band of Channeled Magic, use one of the heroic rings, and maybe you can be one
Yeah,
of the
why
lucky few that
spend
gets Signet of Manifested Pain. There
$8,000
really is no
on
other
a
options,
ring that
unfortunately.
You probably
For
won't even
trinkets,
use
we
through
basically
the
have
whole,
3 options.
you
We
know,
have Embrace of the Spider, Dying
whole
Curse, and
expansion.
we also have Illustration of the Dragon Soul. Now, for Arcane, Embrace of the Spider and Dying Curse are BIS. Dying Curse is like #1 prio. I highly recommend putting it as your #1 on your wish list. It's just huge in terms of the hit rating that it gives you, as well as the proc chance, and you're going to want it for going fire later on because of that hit rating. Now, Embrace
interesting.
of the Spider is also better than Illustration of the Dragon Soul in phase 1 when we have 2-minute fights and 3-minute fights. It sims a fair amount better than Illustration of the Dragon Soul. And then even at longer fights in Alduar, you know, 5-minute or 6-minute fights,
Oh, come on,
it's
man.
simming about the same as Illustration of the Dragon Soul. So as far as Arcane goes, there's no reason to go for Illustration of the Dragon Soul, which is already a very highly contested
I
trinket.
mean, I don't
and
think
so just
going
go for
fire
Embrace
at
of the
any
Spider, which
point
drops
is going to
off
be
of,
worth it.
10-man Mayexna, and then Dying Curse is, you know, that's going to be a tough
I
one
mean,
to get,
then you're,
but
like,
it's
it just seems
it's
better
one of the
to
best
stick
items
with
for us, especially
Arcane,
for
where
the
you've got
transition
decent
fire,
damage
because
through
once
the
we
whole
go fire in Alduar, assuming
expansion,
we do,
you know.
there's really only one other trinket. So if you got just Dying Curse and Embrace of the Spider, and then you eventually got one trinket from Alduar to replace Embrace of the Spider, use Dying Curse all the way to TOTC
Oh, it didn't
into
even give
phase
me
3,
what I wanted.
that'd actually be fine for us. So, you know, try and discuss that with your loot council and be like, hey, if I did get Dying Curse, I would be using it all the way to phase 3. I wouldn't be replacing it in phase 2 at all. You know, that could be the case for other classes as well, though. So, you know,
I'm coming, mine.
it's a very contested item for Dying Curse, but it is just that big for us for both Arcane and Fire. So that's just kind of the way it is. Otherwise, Embrace of the Spider. Just note that when you get Embrace of the Spider, you have to be smarter with your haste. So go back to my watch my Arcane Mage video, and you basically want to, once you have Embrace of the Spider, you're going to not be pre-potting with Speed of Potion anymore. You're going to, or Potion of Speed. You're going to be pre-potting with Wild Magic Pots, and then also you're delaying your Berserking if you're a Troll. So that's just something you have to, you know, change up how you're playing with Embrace of the Spider, but it is definitely, it's ahead of Illustration of the Dragon Soul, and so it does have that advantage. Illustration of the Dragon Soul in a speed run may be more consistent, because it's just going to be constantly giving you 200 spell power as long as you can keep it going, which you can with just things like Slowfall or just other simple spells. However, you know, Embrace of the Spider,
Okay.
if you're paying attention to the procs,
Oh yeah, I said I was gonna
be
work on
better,
my
and,
video quality,
yeah,
but
so and the Illustration of the Dragon Soul is just very contested. So
I just
all
don't
things
want to
to
do
keep
it
in
right
mind
now.
when it comes
Oh
to trinkets.
no!
Lastly, for
No,
wand,
no,
it's
no!
going to
Don't
come
kill
down
me!
to
Don't
whether
kill me!
you're going the helm and chest route or the gloves route, right? So if you're going the glove off piece, then you want to have a hit wand, and if you're going the
I
chest
don't
or
know why
helm
I'm using
route,
Frost
then you're going to
Firebolt.
want to have
Just
a
what's
non-hit
happening.
wand. Keep in mind also, you know, if you had
I'm just gonna ice lance this
Drain
dude to
Eye,
death
then
because
you
he
could
tried
go
to
the
kill
gloves
me.
route, and you could just not have a hit wand because you have
Thought
the
you was gonna
Drain
kill
Eye
me,
and
did
1%
you?
hit presence.
Thought you was gonna kill me.
So you just have to always keep in mind what your raid situation and what your hit is. But as far as hit wands, Gemmed Wand of the Nerubians is really good. Even if you don't need the hit, it's better than the Prebis, with the Prebis being
Man,
the
I
Wand of the
just
Demon
I can't
Soul.
figure out what I
However,
actually
if you don't need the hit,
This the
Wand of
most
the Archlich
annoying
is certainly
thing
Biss.
about
It's,
this
10
game.
Kalthuzid.
Is, you know,
something that's
everybody's
about
got different
halfway
ideas
between
on what you
Wand of the
need
Demon
and
Souls,
how
so
it
our
should be
Priebus,
used
and
and blah
Wand
blah
of the
blah blah
Archlich
blah.
is Fading Glow.
It's like at a
That's
certain
25
point,
man
Jesus
Losad.
Christ, man,
Another
I
just
just
kind
don't
of
want
less
to think
contested
about
piece,
it.
just kind of an upgrade piece.
I just want to
If you're not
say,
able to
oh,
get
this
that
piece for me,
or you
good.
just want a
You
non-hit
know,
option.
I use this
You're
piece.
going Gemmed Wand of the Nerubians, and this is going to be rotting. Then you can have a nice non-hit option by picking up Fading Glow. So that's another alternative, but this is Wand of the Archlich for non-hit wand
There's
option.
supposed to be a
and for hit
chest
wand
down
option, you
here.
pretty much just have Gemmed Wand.
I just don't see
You
it.
could also put a hit gem in your Wand of the Demon Soul, but yeah, Gemmed Wand of the Nerubians, really good for a hit wand. For fire, there's 2 optimal routes and 2 suboptimal routes that you can go. The 2 optimal routes use Leggings of the Wanton Spellcaster as their off-piece, and the only difference between them is
Leggings of the
swapping whether you go
Wanton.
hit on belt and no hit on boots, or vice versa, you go hit on boots and no hit on belt. The suboptimal routes are accepting that you can't get Leggings of the Wanton Spellcaster due to it being too highly contested since we're arcane for phase 1 and thus don't use it as arcane. And thus you use tier 7 legs, since they have some hit on them, with hit boots and non-hit belt. And then for your off piece, you either go helm, so Hood of Rationality, or you go shoulders, so Mantle of Dissemination. Basically, either of the optimal routes is fine. They're pretty much equivalent. And while the suboptimal routes are a fair amount less DPS than the optimal routes, they're your best alternative if you can't get Leggings of the Wanton Spellcaster. The shoulders off piece is a little better than the helm route, but the helm route has the added benefit of being
And the
off
mirror
piece
image is
for
actually
arcane.
really nice on here.
As you can see, many of the
Like,
slots
it
share the
feels
same
so
BIS
much better
items as I
than how
covered
it
for Arcane,
feels
so I'm
in-
not going to go over
in
those
retail.
items a second time. So if you're just here for Fire, I'll now cover the slots with items that are different from Arcane
How is he
BIS,
evading?
and then for any additional item
Dude, that's
slots, check the
BS.
previous timestamps where I talk about the items such as Cloak, Weapon, etc.
Wait, am
and
I
you
out
can
of
review
keys?
those. Also, one other
No.
note just on the Fire stuff.
Bruh, that's
you can see that I
cheating.
spell hit 13%. This is assuming that you then have a Drain Eye to hit that 14%. And if you don't, you can just swap out Lost Jewel with the Horseman Seal from the Halloween event that's coming up in the item slot section. And you can just do that swap, and that'll get you.
You know
to
what? We might
14%.
just do that real quick. Let's go sell my BOEs
So now
and
for
then
Fire,
we'll
I'm
come
going to
back.
revisit some of the slots and emphasize some of the different alternatives you have, and especially the ones where they can be more beneficial to Fire versus Arcane. So first, for Bracers, we have the Unsullied Cuffs. Those are still BIS for Fire. However, Bindings of the Expansive Mind have some nice hit on them, so as Fire, you typically need hit, and that's another nice piece, a nice alternative to pick up in case you do need hit. Again, not as good as Unsullied Cuffs, but just another alternative to re-emphasize because of that hit. And then for weapons, Turning Tide is just obviously still, again, leagues over everything else. But for weapons, once again, Fire typically needs all this hit, so you can have a, look more at some of the one-handers that have hit on them, such as Soul Blade from 10-man Kalthuzid, Hunting Call, there's 25-man Zone Drop, those have hit on them. And you can then use a offhand with hit as well.
Frame drops, but
There's still, of
nothing I
course,
can
Life
do.
and Death and the other options that I covered for Arcane. But then you also have Great Staff of the Nexus, which is from 10-man Malygos,
Well, you know
which has a
what
ton
I
of
do
hit on
need
it.
to do?
And so that's a good way that if you don't
I
have
need to
Leggings of
try
the Wanton
resetting my
Spellcaster, you can
internet,
pick this up
'cause I
in
don't
order to
think it's
replace that
really
hit.
well.
Again,
It has
Turning
been
Tide with an
reset,
offhand
but
is definitely still BIS
not
and much better
properly.
than this. But this is a nice option that if other people don't need it or something
Let's
of that
sell all my
sort,
stuff
you can
real
pick this
quick.
up in preparation for going Fire in Phase 2. And then for offhand, Surplus Limb
I'm
is
not
still
going
BIS. It's
Fire,
just got
man.
great stats and it has the hit that Fire needs. However, as a non-hit option, Accursed Spine is actually really good. Even if you need hit, comparing the sims between Surplus Limb and Accursed Spine, Accursed Spine is only 10 to 15 DPS behind. So, and that's with
Although, to
utilizing
be
all the hit on
honest, I would
Surplus Limb.
rather
So Accursed
go
Spine is actually
Fire
really good for
than
Fire. So this
Arcane.
is something that I don't know how contested it will be. Hopefully not very contested, and it's something you could pick up as Fire, and you could use it
But
as
I
a
don't
non-hit
wanna
option,
think about
or just save it in your back
another
pocket.
frickin',
Say you had Surplus Limb, you get some more hit options in
I
Alduar
really don't
as far
wanna
as gearing goes,
Huh?
and you can drop some
I
hit
mean,
somewhere. You
Fire
could then drop
Frost would
Surplus
be
Limb,
much better
swap this
than
in, and it should be a nice DPS increase. So keep your eye out
Frost
for Accursed
Arcane.
Spine.
I don't
Otherwise,
know.
the other things I mentioned for Arcane are still valid options as well, such as Ward of the Violet Citadel for hit is pretty good. And then also, if you happen to get Matriarch Spawn as Arcane, you could certainly use that. But Accursed Spine, good pickup if it's going to be rotting or going very cheap in a GDKB. Then there's also, I've covered Leash of Heedless Magic and kind of how you can go. There's different sets. You can go hit on boots and no hit on belt and vice versa. I definitely like going the hit on boots route because it's basically a free item with it being Emblems of Valor. Sinter's expeditionary boots aren't that great for
I'm
arcane.
keeping my red
just because of the
lumberjack
way
shirt.
it's statted. But if you need hit as fire, it's
is
just as good
200
as the
gold, though.
boots of Impetuous Ideals.
I want to keep it.
The BOE ones, which will probably be very expensive, and these are basically free, being Emblems of Valor. So I like going the hit on boots route, because then you can just pick these up for free from fire, and they sim just as good as boots of Impetuous Ideals.
1,500 gold for this.
You need Leech of Heedless Magic, which is of course a very contested item. That this non-hit BIS belt. However, it's also BIS for arcane, so it's kind of a twofer in that regard. So that's why I kind of like going this gearing route. Again, it does require Leggings of the Wanton Spellcaster, which are highly contested. But, I've covered
Some
that
of
in
this
a
stuff
different
probably
set.
won't sell. It's
Sets
alright
you can
though.
go for fire,
The
so I'm
relics
not
of
gonna
Ulduar, I
go
don't
into
know
that
what
too
they're
much.
used for yet, so I
For
just want to
rings,
hang on to them.
It's Signet of Manifested Pain and Lost Jewel are
Honey
BIS
Mint
for fire.
tea.
So Lost Jewel is
Sell
not
that.
that great for
Keep
arcane.
my
It
mana
basically sims, I
potions.
think, a little bit worse,
Okay.
if I remember right, from the Heroic rings.
Surely somebody's got a
But
mailbox
for
down,
fire,
right?
it's actually
Nobody?
really good. It sims above everything else by a significant margin, and I don't think it should be
Global
that
thermal
contested
sapper
based on how it's
charge.
statted. I could be wrong on that though, but assuming it's not that contested, this should be an easy pickup, and then you would use
let's
Lost
check my
Jewel
mail, make sure I
and
ain't
Bandit
made-
Channel Magic, our Emblems of Valor ring,
Oh, nice. He's
until
getting
you
my
can
gold
get
back.
Signet
Good
of
stuff.
Manifested Pain if you ever do. So that's just another difference.
A lot of
with,
this stuff didn't
fire
so
compared to
magically
arcane, but
wrapped
it shouldn't be
gift.
too
What is
hard to
this?
pick up Lost Jewel, I don't think.
On your conviction to reach the
Lastly,
80th
trinkets
season
wise,
of
Illustration,
adventure,
Dragon Soul,
you're
and Dying
undoubtedly
Curse are
dedicated
both
to the cause of
BIS
riding
for
out all
fire,
the evils
both
which have
highly
plagued us.
contested items.
When
So
it be the true battle
again, I
lies
put
ahead,
Dying
fight
Curse
on.
way
What is
above
this?
everything else, and way above Illustration, Dragon Soul, or other trinkets, just because of its nature, and how it helps for other trinkets, just because of its nature, and how it
Oh,
helps
it's
with
literally. Alright, we'll see if that has an effect on my stream or not. I need to pull up my tailoring guide. Really, dude? You're gonna drop frames on me again after I did what you asked me to do? It's literally been since my internet stuff changed. It's been doing this. Let's see, master tailoring. It's not what I need. See, I needed 50 bolts of frostweave. Alright, so let's craft the frostweave. What was it? The belt is what it wanted me to craft. It wanted me to craft 15 of these. I'm gonna have to, well, I need to clear out my inventory. Just go over to the bank real quick. I have so many quest items that I don't know. Oh, increases your Sons of Hodir reputation. I didn't know that was a usable. Alright, for right now, let's deposit the potions. And probably get rid of that. I can get rid of those. We can get rid of... Oh, those actually are an upgrade for me? Like, for real, for real? Good stuff. I didn't even know that. Says that's an upgrade as well. I thought I was wearing that. Yeah, man, I know. Frame drops, frame drops, frame drops. Fucking hell, man. It's like I fix one problem and I run into another. Yeah, why am I not wearing all this stuff? It's gotta be my item rack jacking up my stuff. Maybe I just need to save my current stuff. PvP. Yeah, because at this point, we just need to be wearing like my current gear. There's no reason for it to be swapping gear at any point. Alright, let's deposit the tabard. Maybe I should just sell some of this older stuff. Deposit some of the potions. I need to finish getting my frost or my first aid up as well. I mean, there's only two options, right? Frostweave and heavy frostweave. Where do you get heavy frostweave bandage from? Reward from the Amphitheater of Anguish? Wait, what? Oh, no, top buy. Yeah, there we go. Dropped it at level 71. There's a spot where Rage Claw, Promise are fighting Berserker. All you have to do is stand there, tag mobs with an arrow, and loot. Okay, so you gotta have 390 first aid first as well, which I have, it looks like. What an interesting spot for me to have stopped. Oh, it requires 400 to learn. Dude, everybody is saying something different. It will not drop for you until you are 390 first aid. It only drops on humanoids and undead and ice crown, storm peak, Zul'Drak. Any level 80 instance, raid, or heroic. It should drop on your first kill, but if it doesn't, keep going. It should drop soon. Yeah, I don't know about all that. We've got enough inventory spots. Let's just finish up with tailoring. And then we'll focus on... Alright, so it's the belt, and we need to make, what was it, 15? 15 frostweave belts. I need thread. Let's go buy the thread real quick. Try to push our tailoring up as far as we can go for right now. Oh, that's first aid supplies. Gotta go next door. Let's see, so we need Eternium thread. Holy shit, that's 2 gold a pop, man. Alright, well let me get like 40 of them, I guess, for now. And then we want to make frostweave belt. And we want to make 15 of them. Then after that, we'll make... Or no, we don't want to make 15 of them. Jesus Christ, how many did I make? I made 3, so I need to make 2 more. Alright, so there's 5, which got us to 380. Now we make the boots. And we make 5 of these. And then we make 13 frost-woven cows. Easy enough. Alright. Frost woven cow. Bruh. God, why do they do that? Alright. Let's, I need to delete that week world. Let's see, it wanted me to make 13 frost-woven cows. Let's open up WeakAura real quick. Did it make all of them, or how many did it make? It made 2, so we need 11 more. I need to make a bunch more bolts of Frostweave. I don't think we actually need Frostweave cloth for anything, so we might as well just turn them all into bolts of Frostweave at this point. And it's just eating away at my inventory anyways. See if there's anything we can watch in the meantime. SLS Las Vegas. This was streamed 19 hours ago. It's a skate vid. Yeah, I wouldn't mind to see some skate. Yeah, Nyjah Huston's nuts. Oh, Street League skating. I was wondering what it stood for. Damn, man, I watched his video here recently, too. May have to mute it, because I don't know what the soundtrack they're using is. Alright, let's skip through and see the first tricks.
followed by 4 single trick attempts. The top line score counts, plus the top 2 single trick scores. Those scores are combined for a skater's final score, and at the end of it all, the top 4 skaters will advance into the super final, and each skater will get 2 additional tries to increase their score.
Yeah, man. You just
Now a
gotta.
little bit.
Anytime there's like music in the background, it's like, oh man, is it gonna mute me?
Everything. Mix it up. Use your bag of tricks.
Just varial heel flip into everything, man.
Wow.
Varial heel flip backside 50-50. One of probably 2 competitors here, him and Manny Santiago, that are doing that trick in SLS. Nice, switch Smith grind down the little hubba. He may have time to get one more in if he hustles. Oh, nollie heel flip getting away from him. So one
was a good
fall
try.
has potential to be something you can clean up. More than one fall, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah, and as we've talked about in this new SLS format this year,
All right,
one
we've made
run
all of
does
our
count.
stuff.
So you cannot
And what I
win
said, I needed
anymore
11 more
without
cows.
putting down at least a really good run, if not a great run. So Mickey is going to have to look to his second run, because that 3.3 here in the final will not cut it. Next skater in, the Brazilian. He's been an SLS pro since 2015, skating in his 8th final. His best ever finish is 3rd place. He's been on the podium, but he's never
See,
won.
this is supposed to put me to
Which is shocking,
395.
considering how
All right, so
talented
there's no reason to
Felipe
make another
Gustavo
one and
is.
waste.
Felipe started off with a nice switch flip. Locked, kick
I'm
flip, crooked
supposed to
grind.
make dusk weave belts. Did I already buy
Oh, switch flip front board, getting
those? I
away.
did not.
Felipe is so good at mixing it up with switch and regular and
There
nollie
it is.
tricks, and he flips into so much of what he does. Beautiful nollie flip there.
All right, Taylor. Dusk weave
We got
belt.
10 seconds left for Felipe.
We need to make 5 of
Coming in
these.
switch. Oh man, I don't know if he was gonna go switch, flip backside nose grind, but that's a lot of difficult technical tricks in his first line.
Yeah. Honestly,
But
just
another skater
nothing really makes sense to
struggling
me
to
besides
stay on.
just
Look at
making
how
another
well he locks
PC
into
to
that.
handle the stream
That's done
over
about as well as you can do it.
Felipe
using
only
one
does
PC
tricks
for
as
the
well as
stream
you
because
can
it
do
just
right?
doesn't seem
he
possible
doesn't skate sketchy.
to
He doesn't do anything
for one PC
sloppy.
to be able to handle,
halfway.
3 monitors worth
Perfection
of stuff
from Felipe.
and stream at the same time. I don't know
Couple
why.
falls,
It just
though.
doesn't seem to be
Add up
able
to
to do it.
2.8. Next in, Tommy Finn. He was laying low for a couple of years, and he's back. And I talked to him
Okay,
earlier,
so
and he said
now
he's feeling great,
we have to
feeling
do
really
bolts of
comfortable, and the
imbued
time away
draw
helps his
sweep.
mindset. So he's feeling like he's having a good time and skating his
Oh,
best.
that was great right there. Back 180 nose grind 180.
Classic Tommy Finn.
The mental health component of all of this is so important.
I
mean,
don't
the amount of pressure
think-
on these skaters to get out there. The format
I mean, we
is
might as well just
so
buy this stuff.
difficult
It's
to be
fine.
good at. You have to be so incredibly consistent.
All right.
The slightest bobble
Imbued,
can have you going from the
bolt
top
imbued
dog
frost
all the way
weave.
down to last place.
And we've talked about
need
this
infinite
course.
dust.
It's really compact, so bobbles compound themselves. You come,
This person
you
not
land
sell
a trick
infinite
a
dust?
little bit wrong, and the next trick is coming up in
Where do you get
a
infinite
minute,
dust at?
and your feet might be off. Boom, you're off your board.
I mean, that right there was a great example. Tommy had some good momentum to start things off.
Looks like you can
but
buy
we saw him
it.
fall out there, and then it was just boom, one fall right after the other, and it totally wasted probably 15 to 20 seconds of his
So your
run.
frost weave bags are 440 to 450.
Another low score. That's good enough for first place
What
for
are we
now.
trying to
But
craft
these
though? I
scores
think
are
we're
not
trying
going
to
hold up.
craft the Death Choke Cloak, which is at 420. So basically we're trying to
Braden
get
Hoban,
20
the
more,
rookie, he came out and won
which is a
the resurrection
long
of a
push,
hideout contest
honestly.
earlier this year, and he's on a tear. He's just like gifted. You see him skate this course like no one else.
The way he can float, the way he can flip his board, and just how comfortable he is out there. He looks totally unaffected by the pressure. Take a look at that huge frontside 50-50, one of 2 skaters that have skated that obstacle. And even when you look at it, Chris Jocelyn's been doing gap front boards, and he's been doing those 50-50s. It is so effortless looking for Braden.
Let's see, 4
Kickflip front
posts,
50 down on the
stack of
front board.
20
He has time to get one more in if he hustles.
And you just wait
for
for
2
it.
gold.
Oh, I thought he was gonna make that.
See, like for a
Oh,
stack
man.
of 20 is
You know,
41 gold. That
he's
doesn't make any
proven
sense,
to be
dude.
one of these skaters that
Like, why does it
he's
show
got the SLS format pretty
the
well
buyout
figured out,
item
but
for
he
2
doesn't just
gold
stick to a
whenever?
strategy. He's willing to go for it, but it has
Like, I
paid
just
off
don't
for him. This is the
understand
visible
why
replay, kickflip
TSM
front
works
board,
that way.
Just cruising through these tricks, and that's what you're talking about. He's starting from the
Like,
low
obviously,
side
I
there,
wanna
Andrew,
know
way up
what the
into that
full
front
price
50.
is,
That
you know?
huge. We got this kickflip front 50, mid-run. It
Let's
almost
just
looks
buy,
like
like,
it's
2 more
just as
stacks,
easy for him to
and
flip
we'll leave
into
it at
something
that.
as it is to do it just an ollie.
He has magic feet, 6.2. Great run score. It's been really tough for these skaters to get high run scores all weekend because, like we said, the compact course tricks are rapid fire, and it's hard to make that many
Alright.
tricks in a row that quickly. Somebody who's really good at it, the
Imbued.
Brazilian 2015 Super Crown champ, Kelvin Hoffler.
How many of these? I think it said I just
That is
needed
a way
5,
to start
didn't
it
it?
off. Gap back, nose blunt. Kickflip frontside 50-50. One thing about Kelvin, he's going to get a trick in on pretty much every obstacle that he passes. Look at that, front lip to fakie.
Damn, that's
Coming in
so
switch,
smooth.
switch tail 270. He's got 20 seconds. Oh, look at that, kickflip back tail fakie.
Alright, so there's the bolts of imbued
exactly-
frostweave. Pause that for a second. We need to make duskweave wrist wraps. Okay, tailoring dusk. Come on. Dusk weave wrist wraps, which I need more bolts of frost weave now. Damn, man. Alright, let's go sell all of this stuff. I don't know if I'm really willing to buy my way through to 420 whenever I know I'm just gonna collect the cloth over time anyways. Let's just vendor all this crap. I don't really want to try to sell it on the auction house. I'm guessing that one didn't sell. Do I really want to sell my old PvP and tier gear? I might as well, right? I mean, yeah, having a little bit of resilience going into PvP would probably make it a little more bearable. I just don't really want to deal with it though, to be fair. Maybe we'll keep the PvP gear. We'll just get rid of the PvE gear. The robes of the Tempest. I mean, there's really no point in keeping them, I guess. Oh, it won't even let me sell it. Never mind. Guess I'll hang on to them for now. Let's see. 40. 85. 130. So I would need like 215 roughly bolts of frostweave, which I should be able to just come across on my own. Yeah, look at that. They're selling for 5 gold a pop. And so a stack of 20 with Jesus Christ would just be so much. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. I'll get my own damn cloth. It's so wild to me that people are already playing their ults too. I mean, I can understand, like, if you made it to 80 within the first week and you got all your pre-bis, you know, it definitely makes sense. Because, I mean, what is there to do? If you max out... Oh, you're kidding. Come on, game. If you max out your professions and you max out, you know, you get all your pre-bis, get all your professions, get all your rep and attunements done, the only thing left after that is just waiting for the release of the next content. I'd like to try to blink. Yeah, we'll try to blink. Didn't work. Oh, what is this, a mukbang stream now? About to pig out? Alright. God, I really don't want to do this quest anymore. There's really probably no reason for me to even do this quest. I just want to make sure I have all the dailies unlocked and I've gotten the max amount of reputation that I can get out of stuff. Alright. Let's try to find something entertaining to watch. Oh, is it over? Well, that's a bummer. I was really hoping to... 7 minutes of gameplay of Wild Hearts. Let's see what this is. Games are just getting so crazy right now. Look at that, man. This is why we really do need like a next generation of MMOs. These are the good French fries too. I don't think I've ever eaten in this place. Seems just kind of like a Texas, you know? Maybe like a rally style. Was this the new Monster Hunter? These would have been good in there now. Stay flat though. Hold on, I gotta pause this real quick. Motherfucker. These goddamn flies, man. I gotta find a way to get rid of them. I have to try to get some fly traps or something. Wait, I died? No. How'd I die? This fucking game, man. Alright. You know what? While I'm eating, let's throw this on main screen for now. And watch this while I'm eating. You know, it says this is an HD, but it does not look good at all. Why does it look like this? It looks so blurry. What is going on, man? Why does it look like this? I don't know. Looks really blurry though. Look at that sucker. That's a big old pig. That's a big pig. That's a big pig. God, that is crazy. You know, it's wild. It seems like there's just been so many games that have been coming out of like either China, Japan, Korea. Like, there's just been so many as of late. Or at the very least styled in the art of that. There you go. Gameplay not final represents a game in development. I mean, it looks cool, I guess. Recreating Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power scene in Blender. Crazy camera James Cameron built for Avatar 2. Why are we the pinnacle of evolution and not them? How my video got 6 cops indicted. How Beef Bar won world first tier 7. Was won with 10 DKs. Alright, yeah, let's watch that real quick. I wonder if this is an actual
today,
story or if
the
this
race
is...
to world first was so close. It was literally within a minute and a half, I believe.
Dang.
And Beef Bar went and beat Progress. So Beef Bar got the world first finish or completion of all of the raids in
Hell yeah.
phase 1 of Wrath of the Lich King. Huge grats to Beef Bar. They did not stream it, but we do have a VOD, so we're gonna watch it now. Before we even say anything about that though, before that guys, I do want to point your attention really quickly to the fact that Blizzard has officially announced their very first esports tournament. In Wrath of the Lich King Classic, there is officially going to be a speedrun tournament. That's go.
Interesting.
Hell yes. I'm so pumped for this. This is going to be amazing.
I mean,
I'm literally so excited. I've been pushing for this forever,
cool.
and it is just the most exciting thing ever. Yes, I obviously do have my YouTube voice on.
I don't think I'd call it the most exciting thing ever, but it's
Beef
cool.
Bar's run. There's one thing I want to point out really quickly. We're going to watch the whole run, but there's one thing I want to point out really quickly, and that is that Progress had twice as fast of every boss kill pretty much. And let me pull up why. Let me just pull up why. Let me go Progress Kroggers next to Beef Bar, not Kroggers. Okay, next to Beef Bar's run.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't understand that.
If you look at some of the kills, right? Let's look at the biggest one would be Lotheb. Lotheb kill right here, 2 minutes, 51 seconds. Progress had an insane strategy, and we'll actually break that down first.
Whoa,
where
look
their
at their
Lotheb
kill
is
times.
1 minute and 23 seconds.
40 seconds on a boss.
That is twice as fast.
30 seconds. Like what?
Twice as fast. Progress killed pretty much every boss twice as fast. Let's look at like
Wow, dude.
Patchwork, 1 minute and 20 seconds for Progress. Beef Bar, Patchwork, 1 minute 52 seconds. So not twice as fast, but 30 seconds faster, 32 seconds faster, 22 seconds faster. Math is apparently hard when you're on stream. Okay, but every boss super fast. Gluth
Math
dead
is just
38
hard in
seconds.
general.
38 seconds from Progress. Gluth from Beef Bar, 1 minute and 18 seconds. Basically, Progress had insane strategies to do every boss faster than everyone else. And what their strategy is, I will just show it to you before we watch the actual Beef Bar run. Starting with, which boss do we care about the most? Bam, bam, bom, bang, bong, bing. Patchwork? No. Let's go to bing, bong, bing. All right, this is the strategy. All right, just to start off, perfect timing. This is Stead's POV. He's pulling these Death Knights into the next group, into the bosses, or pretty much into the raid group. Emptying these Death Knights from the military wing into the raid group. And what these Death Knights do is put a Hysteria, or no longer called Hysteria because we can't call it that, Unholy Frenzy buff up on mobs around them. This makes them do more damage, but also take 1% HP
This
damage
is crazy.
per second. So if we look at Lotheb, they have one of these mobs right over
Bruh.
here. being
a pleb
tanked
like
by
me
Julius.
who just
Shout out to
be
Julius.
going through
and you
and
can see
just
Lotheb
like
has this
trying to
buff on
chill
him.
and like,
No, you
kill
can't
a
see that
boss,
because
have
I have
fun.
a overlay.
Like seeing something like this.
Give me
is
1
just-
second, guys.
There's a whole different
Where
level of
do
the
I
way some of these
have
people have been playing this game.
Chat box. Hide. Perfect. Chat box is gone. All right, now you can see it. Unholy Frenzy on the boss. Now watch how fast the boss dies. Lotheb goes down so incredibly fast. Every 1 second, he's 1 second, I believe, he's taking 1% damage. Okay. Hi, Mom. Hi, YouTube. This was actually the craziest strategy. Yeah, every single other like wing they went to, they brought a new Death Knight in. This was the craziest strategy they did, and look how much damage it literally did to Lotheb. 225,000 damage per second.
Yeah.
Unholy Frenzy.
That's nuts.
Absolutely destroyed, demolished this boss. Holy crap. 60 hits, the average hit did 314k damage, right? It is the craziest strategy. Wow. Amazing strat progress. Progress literally lost this race by less than 2 minutes. And the biggest difference, let's look at it. Now I'm going to close Progress's things. The biggest difference, let's go to Beef Bar. Is this
That is
Progress? Is this Progress?
insane.
Beef Bar. Okay, look at Patchwork. Let's look at friendlies. Let's look at buffs. Do you guys see anything crazy here? Do you guys see anything crazy here?
No, because I don't know what I'm looking at.
No, because of cam. I'm not covering it with the cam on purpose. I'm not covering it with the cam on purpose. The big one is Soul Revival. Soul Revival is not down on our server, and Darkmoon Faire officially is working apparently within the raid. I'm just gonna do. I've said this so many times today on stream. Before we actually started the actual raids earlier today, I went full screen and I'll try to find the clip. I actually was like, wouldn't it be crazy if Blizzard just decided to forget to take off Darkmoon Faire buff?
And I guess they did.
Wouldn't that be like insane if Blizzard just like forgot to get rid of Darkmoon Faire buff when you enter this raid? That would make no sense. Well, everyone planned for that. I mean, Progress did also. Don't worry, Progress also got Darkmoon Faire buff. Also, so everybody has 1 to 10% extra damage, and then everyone had Soul Revival in the Beef Bar run, which is 10% damage for 30 minutes. This is a buff that you can get. You shouldn't actually be able to get anymore because the Scourge Invasion is actually over for most servers. For some reason on Gehennis, it still is active. So for some reason on Gehennis, you can still get this buff. Okay. With that being said, look at the top screen. We can see Darkmoon Faire buff, and we can see Soul Revival is 23 minutes.
$5 a month.
I should probably mute that while we're doing this, but thank you, Nightfell TV, for the
dude,
tier 1.
look at that. I was
Thank you for the
literally
tier 1.
just talking.
All right, so we're gonna watch Beef Bar's POV. We're gonna do it at like
getting this.
1.5 speed.
Bruh.
Why 1.5 speed and not normal
The
pace?
timing, dude.
Unfortunately, guys, I have to drive super early in the morning to TwitchCon, so and we've been streaming for almost 12 hours, so yeah.
Oh, TwitchCon.
Either way, they're gonna eventually get in. Another thing that they're running like everything they can,
Be cool
right?
to
They
be
have
able
like
to
Frozen Rune running.
do
This is
TwitchCon
amazing, but look at their composition. Okay,
gotta have
look
a
at Beef Bar's
community for all
composition.
that,
Let me
though,
go
I
back
would
to
think.
the Warcraft vlogs. Let me go to Patchwork. Let's go to Damage Done. Look at this fucking composition. Unholy DK, Unholy DK, Unholy DK, Rogue, Unholy DK. Enhanced Shaman, Unholy DK, Unholy DK, Unholy DK, Unholy DK, Unholy DK. Unholy DK. Beef Bar ran like 10
Holy
Unholy
DK.
DKs. Look at the overall. The only person that beat the Unholy DKs is the Enhanced Shaman, because Enhanced Shamans are absolutely amazing. People underestimate Enhanced Shamans.
That's
Unholy
kind of
DKs
nuts.
are phenomenal in the raid, but you do want to play them correctly. You have to kind of play around Unholy DKs.
You probably gotta have
they're
like
going
a
to Invis
straight up
skip
squad.
their first Invis skip. They also have Drums of Speed rolling, which stacks with other speed buffs, and then they're going to Invis skip. Boom. Here we go. Boots
How
and
many
Abyss.
Let's see. I need 2 more
It's
documents.
Morbid time. All right.
This is such a
First Invis
BS
used.
quest.
Everything swapped off. They go and pull this. They actually probably could have made it into the room and not had to pull all of this, because now they get slowed, which is kind of not great, right? Okay, back to 1.5 speed. That's the first big pull, right? Unholy DKs can do crazy damage here. You're seeing all of the DKs at like 9k DPS, and they actually have one Warlock right now doing 10k DPS.
I don't
It's
have
just
a
your
key.
demo locks are insane, right? Okay, they're gonna jump across again. From here, they do a pretty standard actual patchwork wing. I actually anticipated them doing something crazy here. I was anticipating like a giga pull sort of situation, but they're pretty much gonna move in a normal
All right, one
in a
more.
normal way.
And then we have to
Explode
focus
everything,
on...
get dots up, things like that. We're watching
no,
the
we
Rogue
just need
POV.
one more
Shout out
document,
to
that's all we
Dice.
need.
We're watching Dice's POV, and I'll link this also. Go give him a sub, you know, because he has 20 subs, and we should sub him. I'll also link this in YouTube description if I'll put this on YouTube. Okay, Rogues do crazy damage. Rogues are like the Giga Sleeper. Rogues with Phantom Knives, going double greed or whatever, greed and pride, slow weapons, even if you're assassination, right? Is just crazy damage. It would be sick if he had Fell Striker and stuff like that. That's probably actually holding him back a little bit. Some of the rogues back, I would be honest. Simon, if anyone watched Simonize's run, Simon giga pumped the highest DPS in his run, and also so did Roguish. You can see now he's swapped his weapons over to Librarian's Paper Cutter, and I
Shit.
forget what that one's called.
That's
They're
not
also
great.
running Swiftness of Zanza, which is just always making them faster. You love to see it. And now on to Patchwork. I will go maybe double speed. This is going to be like 1,000 Army of the Deads.
Come on, give me my last document
I
right
love
here
the
so I don't have to
Reapers
do
that,
this
like,
anymore.
careful, don't kill yourself. Remove 4.
Okay.
Careful, don't kill yourself. Okay.
I need
Look
to
how
find
fast
somewhere
Patchwork is
safe to
going down.
drink.
I have it at 1.5 speed, but still the DPS is insane. 10k openers from all of the Unholy DKs. There's 2 Frost
10K
DKs, it looks like,
openers?
on this fight right now.
Holy cow.
12k openers from the Unholy DKs. Just absolutely destroying this boss on the opener.
Oh,
I
come
think I had a
on,
14
dude.
kit. My boss ended up, I think I died. It was a good opener, and then it all went to hell in my run. Shout out Salad Bakers. We had one of those days. One of those days, guys. Huge actual shout out to Fusion for getting like technically world first of everything by sending different raid teams to do everything. But this is Beef Bar in the background who got the world first. Yeah, normal day at Salad Bakers, wiping after our first invisibility skip. Standard, because our priest decided they didn't want to communicate or
Damn,
mind
bro.
control.
Call him out, homie.
it was a good time.
Call him out,
was cool.
dude.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Every day is one of those days. But look
Let
at the
them
end of
know
this
they
fight,
fucked
right?
up.
Rogues at 8.5k, Unholy
Every day
DK
is one of those
9.1k
days
DPS.
for the plebs
and then
like
you're just
us.
sprinting, using rocket boots, getting over this, and you want to pretty much pull everything. I don't even know if you need to pull this with the boss. I'm just going to be honest. They are going to Tricks of the Trade run and pull it all together, but to be brutally
What?
honest, they
No,
should
there
just
was supposed
have
to be a
someone
chest
go and
in
pull
here,
the
damn
boss.
it.
The one big thing that Beef Bar does really well with their composition is all Unholy DKs. They pretty much can pull all of the trash with all of the bosses and cleave it down. Like, just straight up cleave it down. There's a new world first by Real Biss. Take a look at Warcraft logs. Classic.
See if we can't get into a group for something today.
Interesting. There is on Whitemane. What's... I don't know. What's going on there? That would be sweet though. They do get 3 slimes here. It's a little bit intimidating.
There should have been a
And
chest there.
not really though. They have so many Unholy DKs,
There
and people can
should
just
be a
run out
chest
on this
down
boss
here.
when
I
their
think
debuff is
somebody's
almost
already
over.
cleared
The speedrun strategy for
this
Grobulus
spot
has
out.
always been to kite the boss towards the exit and kill the boss towards the exit
There,
so you
well,
can
there's
move into
one.
Gluth. I don't know.
Come
I
on,
don't know why
man.
every
Just give me
guild
my
didn't
last
do this, or a
document so I
lot of
can
guilds
stop
didn't do
doing
this.
this
It made no
quest,
sense to me
please.
that guilds didn't do this. And again, look at the DPS meters. We're
These are
seeing
the most
every like
annoying
DKs
quests,
at 10,000
like,
DPS, 9k DPS. The DPS in this raid is phenomenal. It does count that they did cleave down all of the Stitch Giants right now, and they should have rocket boots again in a second. Oh, you guys want to know what happened in my run? Yeah, someone fell. I'm not even joking. Someone fell off that.
That's probably most people's runs.
Yeah, remember? Yeah, also remember, yes, this DPS has two 10%
Come on, dude.
DPS buffs, right?
Let's just go in
This
biz. I
DPS
don't
is
wanna fight these.
giga high because they have double. They have Darkmoon Fair rolling. Look, Darkmoon Fair still is
Give 'em a
available in
second
this
to
raid.
pass by.
Progress also had Darkmoon Fair, and I believe Space Force also had Soul Revival. Someone said they did, but they have 14 minutes left of having 10% extra damage. Everyone.
That's crazy,
Everyone.
man.
Okay, so this damage is really high.
Like,
They're pretty
look
much
at all of their buffs.
the
and
big thing
stuff.
about Unholy
Like,
DKs
they were
is they
stacked to the
all of their
gills,
damage is
man.
front loaded, right? With a
Like,
big
they
snapshot on
literally
Gary.
had everything
If you get a
could
good Gary,
possibly need
you
or
destroy
want in that
everyone.
moment.
If the fight takes a bajillion years and like ends like right before you get a second Gary up or something, your damage is just owned. So that's what their comp is. Their comp is just this
dude
crazy
can't
all
move,
Unholy
so we
DK
might as
comp
well just
where there's 3 tricks of the trades
to
going
break
out. Maybe one's on the tank, but
LOS
2
on 'em.
people are at least getting tricks of the trade. I was looking at the logs earlier. African DK is getting a tricks of the trade. Burned the boss, done. The only people killing these bosses faster right now,
I don't think
yeah, they
you
have 2
could
Frosty
kill
Boys.
them
Maybe
faster.
only 1, but usually it's relapsed.
Like, the
They
kills are
need a
only
Frosty
gonna
Boy.
get
You don't
slower
need
from
it.
here at this
You have a
point, it
Frosty Boy.
feels like.
The only people killing these bosses faster would be Progress. Progress killed bosses twice as fast, and I showed you guys the strategy they used already. Okay. Yeah, dude, Gary does so much of the damage for these guys. Gary is like all of the damage. And let me get this back so you guys can see.
Gary.
There. You guys can chat. Say something and your chat will pop up. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Instantly into splitting the DPS here. They're going to open up normal damage. Look at the
somebody's
opener from the
already cleared
Rogue
these
is
out for the
also at
chest.
9k. Rogues and DKs are crazy. Rogues, DKs, and Warlocks are just like going to dominate this phase. Okay. Did you guys have to say that, you know?
Yeah,
Did you
I
guys
mean,
have
I
to?
knew Rogue was good
I
just
knew you
based
guys
off
would.
of pre-patch, man.
That's
when
the hardest
you
boss in the
see-
game.
like, when
Everybody
I
knows
seen how much
making that
damage
jump is
Rogues
quite
were
literally
doing just in
impossible.
PvP. I mean, you could
So
just tell
don't at
that
me.
they
Now we've got 700,000
they're
armies
just
of the
absolutely
undead.
pumping.
Look at the armies, dude. And most of them aren't attacking because Army of the Undead has terrible scripting. If you're an Unholy DK, you can recall your pet and send your pet again, and it should make your army attack, but it might not.
Dude, these
But it
chests
might
not
not.
respawning
So
are
look
gonna
at
be the
1,
death of
2,
me.
3, 4 armies are literally just standing here. That's just straight up scripting.
And then
that
them
sucks.
not dropping the
and this is a
damn
fight where rogues really pop
documents
off.
when they
This
do
isn't
is-
really the best fight for Unholy DK.
is
I'm
gonna
gonna
send
be
me
honest.
over an edge.
It is not at all, right? Like, not a lot of your stuff scales with this. Like, your Gary is what you really want to do damage, and your Gary does not scale with an attack power buff. It only scales, or not attack
Wait,
power,
I'm
a
out of
damage
keys? Ah,
percentage buff.
brick.
So your Gary is not popping off, and you're just seeing rogues dominate this fight. Warlocks also dominating this fight. But look at the rogues at 10k DPS. The all of the DKs should be falling in
Yeah,
DPS very
rogues
shortly,
are just
right?
pumping,
Mostly
man.
because Gary's already been used.
All right, so
Is
what
there
we
a new
need to
pet food?
do,
Spiced mammoth
we need to
treats.
gather everyone
When
up.
you summon your pets, you
Well,
can spice mammoth
let's
treats
just-
them.
See, I don't remember
Should be interested to see hybrid
LVY
walks. Yeah, they're
having
only
all of that
running
right
one
there,
warlock
so I
right
don't
now.
know where this stuff
I can move
has
my
come
face cam
from
a little bit lower so you guys can see
with being
the comp a
over
little
the
bit better.
characters.
There you go. Okay. And Thaddeus is the interesting or nice thing about Thaddeus in Wrath of the Lich King is after he's dead, the debuffs go away, so you can't kill each other with those. Also, do note you can see that they have actual
Shit, I didn't mean
necklace
to
buffs
spawn that.
in this raid.
You
People
know
are
what?
actually getting
It's
buffed
actually gonna
by
be
jewel crafting
convenient
necks.
having it.
This is like a full gamer raid. They're doing everything they can to be fully buffed, and it really is working out really well. They have 2 shamans, and 2 shamans, 3 paladins, 3 druids, a billion unholy DKs. Gosh, why? So Army won't taunt in raids. Yeah, Army won't taunt in raids. But Army still
There's a
won't attack.
key.
Yeah. What add-on is the green arrow? Exclamation point arrow if you want my arrow. Okay. So these are the Death Knight ads that Progress used and pulled forward. I was surprised to see that
Wait,
Beef
didn't I
Bar
have a chest
didn't
over
do
here?
any sort of like invis skip here.
Or-
But
no, it was this
realistically, their overall DPS is so high with their comp that it doesn't
didn't
matter.
drop
If they
one.
can pull a lot of mobs and gather it up, that's really the strategy for Unholy DK, is if you can pull a lot of mobs, gather them up, then you can burn them all and do a crazy amount of damage, right? So you need to
It's
get
just
all the
kind of
mobs. You see
mind-blowing
they
that
rocket
they're
boots here to
pumping, like,
gather
10,
everything.
12K
And now the
damage.
Unholies are just gonna Hunter, if he has his cooldowns, would just go insane. The Rogues would go
No
insane.
wonder all
Watch
these
the
DKs
meters.
are running DPS right now. They're all
Look at the
running
Hunter
freaking
beating.
unholy
Look at the Hunter
DK.
beating most of the Unholies. Look at the Hunter on top. And Rogues all switching to their slow weapons. Again, they're in their trash set. Your trash set is pretty much slow weapons. Potentially using something like Rod of the Sun King or Fell Striker if you have it to min-max insane amounts of DPS, right? So boom, boom, boom. Phantom Knives is the way. And look at the Unholies again pumping.
See, that's
They're gonna do the
just
same thing here.
so specific, man. Like the
The
amount
only
of
fear
things
of
that you would
Resuvius
have
is
to
if you
grind
guys
out
just
and
drop the
get
fucking
in such a
mind
short. Like I
controls,
don't know how they're doing
you are
it, man.
using mind
like these people
controls,
have to be
right?
playing like 16 hours a day.
But like, what the heck? Just communicate that. They're actually using a tank to tank it until it's in position. Now they're MCing and have a Death Knight tanking, and they're just going to chain pull ads into themselves. This is phenomenal. You can do this because the Unholy DKs literally just have ridiculous cleave, and so do Enhanced Shamans. The Enhanced Shamans are actually doing more DPS right now early on.
Oh no, that
And they're
dude's
just
coming
using
in
their
behind
Hunter
me.
to
That's
pull
bad.
things through all the way to them. This is
can't
a strategy
take any
that
more
is
damage.
employed in all speedruns realistically, is always have your Hunter puller going forward and bringing things back. It is phenomenal to see that Beef Bar is utilizing this so well. And again, they still do have 6 minutes left of their 10% damage buff. So
I
they're going to
probably
be able to
shouldn't have
rocket
attacked him,
boots
but-
again past this next section because they're going to have cleared all of the trash, right? They're going to have cleared all of
Yep,
these
I'm out of
trashes.
mana.
The only thing
Shit.
scary here is these axes whirlwind. These axes whirlwind and it hits for a ton. The staves do an arcane explosion and also they do a nova which can freeze you, but the
Alright,
whirlwind
let's
can
unlock the
hit
chest
and
before
hurt.
somebody
The
tries to
whirlwind
come and
can hurt.
take it on
If I
me.
was the rogue, I would have faced
Literally one
evasion. He
document.
has 30 seconds left on
One
evasion.
document, man.
He faced the axe to make sure that he could evade, right? Yeah. So one death here, yeah, one
I
death here.
hate these quests.
Not too bad. And they instantly pick up the Death Knight that dropped. They have both of their priests doing their mind controls, and they get the last ads, and they're just gonna boots and zoom right now, right? Kill this, zoom. They didn't swap for a second pair of boots, actually, it looks like. So no boots, no zoom. Drums of speed at least, but no boots, no zoom.
Like the amount of gold that
They could have
must
actually saved some
too.
time. Oh, never mind then. Are they gonna cloaking device invis this, or are they gonna kill it? Okay, they're gonna kill all of this. All right,
Oh, there's
amazing.
The chest.
And they instantly started the fight. I love this, dude. Beef Bar is just
Come on,
gaming.
man.
This is a beautiful strategy. Let's go back and watch all of this again. Beef Bar is just gaming. I would have expected, in all honesty, for them to
Like, how do these
for them to
people have
like
the
cloaking
time
device invis this, but
to,
because
like,
they have so many
do this
DKs,
kind of
because they
stuff?
have both of the enhanced shamans, they have the rogues. Their AOE damage is just crazy,
Like, if
right?
I didn't
Every
have to
single
work,
person can do
you
a lot of
know,
damage.
maybe
Unholies
I
have
could
are
do some
chonky,
stuff
so
like
they
this
don't
for
die
sure.
usually. They've got multiple tricks of the
But-
trade. They also have
I mean, just
the
having
Hunter's
a
MD,
job
and the second
makes
everybody is
doing
in the
shit
room,
like that, like,
they trigger the
impossible.
fight. Look at this. The second everyone's in
Oh,
the room,
there's-
they've triggered the
there's
fight.
one.
Now they're fighting it. The door is closed. They already have their Hunter on the other side,
Okay, let's
so he
just
can
get
jump
some
through the gate.
defense out.
So you can see the Hunter's on the other side, so he can jump through the gate. There is some frame drops there, and moving fast. Yeah, so if you want to do crazy damage on your Unholy DK, just pull everything. Like, that's like straight up it. And now we're seeing the Hunter try to jump through and taking some time. That jump can suck.
Why, game? Why?
Sometimes you
Why are
instantly
doing
get
this
through,
to me?
sometimes it takes forever. Yeah. Equipping the new weapon and instantly enchanting it with berserking poggers. Yeah. Look, he's still trying to get through. This happened in so many runs today. Everybody else is hanging out on the live side, and the Hunter's, I think he just made it. Oh, he didn't yet. All right. Hunter's going to make it through eventually, and he's going to start pulling all of the next trash.
I truly, truly despise this game.
Dude, this jump sucks. I'm just going to say it. It's fine.
Look at that.
I got it done like every time on the beta instantly, but like in a live run situation, it's stressful, right? And now the Hunter is pulling all of these ads. The Cavaliers all the way from the next section are all going to run through. Everyone's stacked up. The Unholy DKs are pretty much going to just dumpster everything, right?
Dude, I've picked up so many keys. How are you going to tell me I don't have a key?
To shine, because things die before Unholy DK can really do too much damage. I would actually prefer to be Frost on this fight, like 1,000,000%.
And I only used
1,000,000,000%. This fight, Thaddeus and maybe Lotheb, and if Lotheb is long, Lotheb, and also Hygen, because Hygen's like buggy. So the gate finally opens for him. They're gonna use DSAC probably. I didn't see if they did use DSAC, but they're just gonna have all the undead mobs come in. Your paladin tank can AoE stun. All paladins can AoE stun him and move on. Now they just wait for the phase to end, and hopefully they're still getting more trash. Yeah, hi Sunix. I'm probably butchering that name, but their Hunter is still alive and moving forward, pulling more. Hopefully they will get all of the trash until
30 to 90 yards
full
from the shore, kill ravenous jaws,
and
use the gold bladder in your
not
bags next to their corpses.
Parachute cloak if they want. You don't really need to. You can just kind of jump. I don't know if it saves literally more than a half of a second.
Like, fuck you.
But rocket boots from this section on is huge, and having all of this trash killed during Gothic is like massive. This is one of the biggest things you could do to save time in Max Rammus. Like there's very few things you can do here. It's just a time gated boss, and it literally saves so much time. So I'm gonna move my face up a little bit again and over so you can see more of me because I'm beautiful. Thanks,
We need to kill 10
All
of them.
Phase 2. Because they actually fought the boss on the live side, they actually can instantly start DPSing Gothic. This is actually a pretty nice strategy. I like it more than DPSing the boss on the undead side. I did not know that you could be on the live side and still get aggro of the ads. They're literally going to burn the boss before he teleports. Juiced. They have one more set of Cavaliers to deal with. They'll kill him here while they kite him, and then probably go forward and ooh, the Hunter almost died. Now they're going to rocket boots. Drums of Speed probably coming out soon. Rocket boots, boom, drums of speed. You got to utilize drums of speed. You need drums of speed in every group, and it stacks with everything. This is like huge, and swiftness of Zanza also huge. Anything that increases movement speed is like ridiculously important for speed runs. And Beef Bar is actually doing more of like a kill everything strat than like a skip everything strat. So a lot of these strats could be utilized in speed runs. So this is going to be really exciting when we see actual speedruns start happening, and I'm really excited to see if Blizzard does something or more things to make real speedruns a little bit more challenging for 25-man raid. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've watched enough of that. Like, but that's just so crazy, man. I just don't know how these people get set up to the point that they do so quickly. I mean, obviously they're probably buying their way through a lot of stuff, and then, you know, they probably have like dedicated groups for runs on a daily basis for the heroics, you know, to try to get the drops in time. But even still, like, I mean, you're still never guaranteed a drop, so I don't know. I mean, even if you've got a full group or whatever, you know, working together to help each other with everything, I just don't know how, I just don't know how they're getting their drops. Which, I mean, with dungeons, you know, it's not that bad, and especially when you're talking pre-bis. But when you start looking at phase 2 with the next set of raids, I don't know. Oh, they are gonna do classic kata. I don't know if I'm gonna do that one. I think Classic Katas is probably where I quit playing Classic. I'll probably quit playing Classic and then I'll just, you know, go back to like being retail specific. Which maybe that's why they're doing Kata. Maybe they know that there's people like all the people like me who have played Classic to this point will just go back to retail. They're trying to get people back into the retail loop. Alright, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to reset my internet and see if it actually helps with my latency issues. Because I literally did not have this problem with my stream until they tried to fix my internet. So let's give it a try.